What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 5. It's Game 2 between VoidBoys and Swag. Game 1 went to VoidBoys in a very long, very patient, very drawn-out game, but they went away with a victory nonetheless. So we'll see if Swag can either put up pressure or out-late game VoidBoys, though it's hard to out-late game a Phantom Lancer. I'm Mikelorus, going to be one of your casters for today. This time, I'm going to be joined by Grandisv. You ready for Game 2?
Yeah. Definitely so. Should be a pretty interesting game as well. VoidBoys in game number 1 looking just a little bit more solid, and probably due to the draft, picking up snipers so early can be very easily punished, and VoidBoys had a pretty good draft to do it.
Alright, so we'll see if Swag are able to switch things up. I'm actually trying to fix some things with the stream. I don't know why the title isn't updating. For some reason it still says we're doing MPGL. Which I'm happy that we're not doing right now, but yeah, things are going wrong on the stream end, but taking a quick look at the draft right now. Vengeful Spirit, the first ban out. Bat Rider also going to get banned out, so no chance of any shenanigans there. Troll is also going to hit the bin. Sniper, though, is still in the pool.
Yeah, and very easily could be picked up, although Clockwork and Storm Spirit are both available, and instead, Swag are going to pick up the Axe. He's been fallen out of favor over the last couple of weeks, and isn't picked up 100%, but is still a really solid initiator with Blink Call and a pretty flexible offlaner that can fit into most lineups. It's a reasonable pickup for Swag.
Having your offlaner and an initiator are just two things that you could just check off and be happy with. You don't have to worry about that in the future. The lane matchups for Axe are generally pretty solid, and that's just another strength of the hero. So Swag are going to have that one to work with, and we'll see how VoidBoys want to work around this Axe. It's you usually just got to do it by pure lane dominance, have a threatening kill lane, and Axe is going to feel too uncomfortable about standing in the lane. You have to force him to the jungle, and maybe you chase him down there. Maybe you just react to his Blink Dagger, but VoidBoys, they're getting the initiation of their own. Maybe another Storm Spirit, but it's probably going to happen a little bit later. Though I would say Sniper, Shadow Fiend, these heroes are probably a little bit more appealing for VoidBoys right now.
Yeah, definitely so. The support pool has been pretty heavily focused down by Swag with both the Venge and the Lion banned out, but there's still plenty of good supports that VoidBoys could also pick from. Rubik, Witch Doctor, what have you. They are actually going to go for the Storm Spirit you're talking about a little bit earlier, and well, it's going to offer them a really solid initiator, although he's not without being punished. Swag have more than enough time in this draft to pick up Lockdown for the Storm, and also this is going to show, presumably, VoidBoys mid lane.
Fortunately for VoidBoys, the Lion ban in the first phase from Swag is going to provide a lot of cover for the Storm Spirit. Usually that's the most threatening hero you have to deal with. As a Storm Spirit, like, as a support rather, Lion has the most disables that are easiest to come out. Shadow Shaman is somewhat threatening, but a lot rarer, so you can work around that a lot easier. Gotta worry about Anti-Mage maybe, but Storm Spirit is probably going to be met with a Skywrath Mage from Swag if VoidBoys don't pick it right here. I'm pretty sure Swag are going to grab that. It's a great combo with the Axe, and against Storm Spirit, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and there you go. It is going to be that Skywrath Mage. Really good support to have, although he can fall victim to just being focused down by the Storm Spirit once Orchid comes out. Having that instant silence is really nice against the Storm Spirit, and as you said, the follow-up damage to an Axe Call is pretty ridiculous. If you just catch somebody on the edge of the call, dropping a Mystic Flare on top of them is very easy. VoidBoys support is going to be a Witch Doctor, although his disable isn't going to be as reliable or as quick as an Ancient Seal. It's still pretty good, and he's going to make up for that with just the raw amount of physical damage he brings to the table with the Death Ward, and the Maledict too. Is not something to be underestimated.
Maledict is a great way at killing off that Axe in lane. You need a lot of damage if you're going to be moving an Axe, and even Maledict level 2, though it's not as impressive but as compared to a level 4 Maledict, it'll certainly get the job done. We see a lot of heavy mid lane hitters being banned out by VoidBoys. They're trying their best to protect their mid lane Storm Spirit, and even Swag going to help them out a little bit in banning out the Sniper, though Bian did just fine up against the Sniper lane in game 1. He doesn't have to worry about many of the really bad matchups for Storm Spirit. Maybe there's going to be a co-op for Swag, in which case Storm Spirit will still not have the best of times, but I think Bian is going to have a fairly easy time, at least in his laning stage.
Pickup for VoidBoys is going to be a Zeus. Whether this is a support or they bump the Storm Spirit to the safe lane and throw the Zeus mid is still yet to be seen. But this is VoidBoys opening up with 3 intelligence heroes and pretty squishy ones at that. I would love to see the Anti-Mage you were talking about earlier picked up by Swag, or maybe we get to see a Nyx Assassin mid.
10 seconds remaining.
That wouldn't be too terrible. I'm kind of on the fence with Nyx Assassin. Maybe it's just because teams whenever they pick him up, Nyx just doesn't do anything, so it's hard to get a real read on how powerful the hero can be, at least nowadays in Dota. But for Swag, the anti-mage is looking great right now. As you said, up against 3 inch heroes, that in and of itself is reason enough to consider the hero. Up against Storm Spirit, that's just another reason. And if you look at VoidBoys' lineup, with the exception of Storm Spirit, who will probably be going for an Orchid at some point in this game, they don't really have an effective way at killing off the anti-mage. Zeus has absolutely nothing to do versus an AM except for throw your damage and hope it's enough. Witch Doctor's Cask is a little bit too slow, and well, for right now they'll grab that Queen of Pain, gonna get their mid lane online, but VoidBoys, they have to be very conscious about this anti-mage because it can completely screw them over.
Yeah, the Queen of Pain pickup for Swag is pretty good. She is going to abuse the fact that the VoidBoys lineup is fairly on the soft side. And also a natural Orchid carrier up against Storm Spirit offers another way to lock him down. So it's pretty good, but VoidBoys gonna pick themselves up a Night Stalker, angling themselves for a very aggressive game. Looks to be an off-lane Night Stalker.
Yeah, this Night Stalker is a hero that can actually deal with that anti-mage, so the anti-mage gets a little bit worse now for the Swag side, although the laning stage for the anti-mage is still looking pretty secure. VoidBoys are going to turn up the heat. Now they have 2 pretty effective silences in the eventual Orchid, the Crippling Fear from the Night Stalker, and you need those silences to deal with the likes of Queen of Pain. So, as I said, VoidBoys are going to step up with this aggression by quite a bit.
5 seconds remaining.
Is it going to be a safe lane Storm Spirit, mid lane Zeus, and maybe VoidBoys are just looking for another support? What do you think these lanes are going to look like for VoidBoys?
They're pretty flexible, but I think that's probably as close to we can get as the truth. I'm not exactly sure. It could just be a support Zeus, and then Storm Spirit and Night Stalker are going to fight over who gets safe lane in mid. But regardless, there's a lot of flexibility for VoidBoys, I think, is the takeaway.
And for Swag, they have a good amount of flexibility as well, but realistic flexibility, not as much. Like, you can put the Queen of Pain off in any lane, really, but in this scenario, she's most likely going to go towards mid. Io is the pick for Swag. Bristleback's still in the pool, and it was a pretty influential hero in the last game. Maybe they're going to decide to grab that one up. It's very rare that we see Io's 4th picked. If you're going to grab an Io, you prioritize it very highly. Bristleback safe lane seems reasonable. It's going to be a tiny ban out from VoidBoys, and that's also completely fine for VoidBoys. It's justifiable. But, yeah, what do you think this Io is going to do?
I'm not exactly sure. The tiny ban is pretty much a no-brainer for VoidBoys, even though there are some very scary combos with the IO that are left in the pool. Tiny's probably the scariest one, and offers a decent amount of lockdown too, but yeah, as you said, it's pretty peculiar to see him 4th picked up. Usually he's, I don't know, picked in tandem with his partner. The last pickup for VoidBoys is going to be a Naga Siren. Right now, this probably doesn't answer very many questions about their draft. I'm tempted to say they're going to be giving this Naga some farm, though.
Yeah, it is looking like a core Naga Siren, and this is kind of weird to see a team grabbing a Night Stalker and a Naga Siren. The heroes do kind of pull in 2 separate directions. Night Stalker wants to be aggressive, very aggressive early on, whereas Naga Siren doesn't want to run into any enemies for the first 20 minutes in the game. They're going to ideally use that space that Night Stalker and Storm Spirit are able to provide to get this Naga Siren up to a 6-slotted status and then just grind out the game like they did in game number 1. The problem is that in this game, Swag are much more prepared to deal with the hard carry of VoidBoys. Last game, the Lancer had no AoE answers at all and was under no pressure. This time, you have Axe, which is great versus Naga Siren. You got Sven with the Cleave and Queen of Pain's Sonic Wave. Not to mention the Silence and Scarith Mage, so you have a chance of shutting down Naga Siren's escape. So this is going to be a much more difficult game for Patzel.
Yeah, definitely. I do like this Sven last pick, however, for Swag, and I suppose I'll just go ahead and introduce their lineup since I'm already there. Klutzy2 going to be playing on that Sven, partnered with his best friend Ned on the IO. The other support's going to be VSW on the Skywrath Mage. Stu's going to be playing the Queen of Pain towards mid. Last but not least, our Axe, handled by Elmo.
And for the VoidBoys, they're up a game, so let's see if they can close it out 2-0. Fly is going to be handling support Zeus. Mercy Please is on the Night Stalker. Got Patzel going towards the mid lane as the Siren with Omega Poner on the Witch Doctor going up towards top, maybe joined by Bien Storm. Or Storm Spirit and Naga going to fight over mid lane? Let the fighting begin, but yeah, this Sven, we didn't really talk about it because it was that last pick. Great hero versus that Naga Siren. Also a reasonable hero versus the Storm Spirit, because Storm Spirit is very reliant on his physical right clicks. Oh, but Omega Poner, run to their tower, he will be safe. Very good versus Storm Spirit. Has that Storm Hammer So a stun and a core, always nice, but
30 seconds
Storm
to
Spirit
battle.
is going to struggle to kill off Sven because Sven is just so tanky.
Yeah, definitely so, and that gets even worse when partnered up with the IO. One of the biggest weaknesses, and probably the biggest weakness of Sven, is his lack of mana. At level 1, you can only throw out one Stormhammer, but when you're partnered up with an IO who's going to get a fast bottle, and Ned is, Klotz 2 is going to have a constant stream of Stormhammers and Warcries to throw out whenever he'd like to, and that extra survivability is going to be really annoying for VoidBoys to eat through. I think it's a pretty fun pick to see, and hopefully it'll angle Swag towards an aggressive side, especially once you get that Blink Dagger up from the Axe.
And up against this Naga Siren in the mid lane, who is far, far, far from the strongest mid laner, the ability to pretty much spam out your Stormhammers just going to give you a little bit more edge in lane. Not really like you needed that much more of an edge versus this Naga Siren. Sven has a lot more damage than the Siren and has another hero to back him up. So this right now, what we see, Klotz backing off, threatening the hammer occasionally, but Ned zoning out Patzel. That's pretty much going to be this lane status for the entirety of the early stages, and VoidBoys, until they get Knight on the Night Stalker, can't really change that. They're going to go for Soothes, though, who grabs Shadow Strike level 1. This might be a kill on Swag. VoidBoys looking to draw First Blood. Arc Lightning in range. Yeah, Soothes is going to dig himself a hole. Well, no, they're not going to go in. What? Fly, why you no go in? Mercy, please. You had a Void. Soothes gets to walk.
That was really awkward. I'm not sure if that's an amazing juke by Queen of Pain or probably a little bit of a lapse of judgment coming out from VoidBoys. But either way, the Queen of Pain is going to survive, and a close call it is too. Up against this dual lane coming out from VoidBoys, in a vacuum, Night Stalker is reasonable against Queen of Pain 1v1, but just that extra harassment power coming out from Fly is going to tip the scales into VoidBoys' favor. And even though they don't get that kill, it's still alright. Mid lane, Naga Siren getting dove by the IO, and this is Sven with the Wisp damage. It will be enough. Paralyzing Cast going to bounce to IO once, but that's about it, as Klotz 2 is getting a fresh pool of mana and health. They'll throw a concussive shot, but they can't chase a Mega Poner that deep. He's behind his tier 2 tower, and that's where he's going to stay. It's going to be Swag instead to draw First Blood.
Man, that is a costly mistake down in this bottom lane. They end up giving the First Blood to the IO, which I guess is not as bad as the Sven. They're going to have another shot, though. Sooth still does not have Blink because he's only level 1. Now, guys, you got to go in and get that kill. They will do it this time, but it's a little bit too late. What they could have had in this scenario is a 1-1, I guess, except Night Stalker would have a lot of additional gold. Oh, they're actually going to run to VSW, who for some reason is also here. They have level 2 Void. VSW is pretty quick, though, with 325 movement speed, a lot faster than the Queen of Pain at only 300, so this Skywrath Mage will live, but they could have had a Night Stalker with a lot of extra gold and an IO without boots to worry about. So Patzel will be under a lot less pressure. Mercy Please would be will be able to apply a lot more pressure. And whenever you pick a Night Stalker, especially if he gets thrown towards a lane and he actually has a chance of getting farm, you need every single scrap of experience and gold you can get so that you could apply pressure in the first nighttime phase. First Blood would have helped them secure that, but now it's clearly not as great. Fly gonna get jumped by Soothe and VSW. Shadow Strike not in range just yet, gets fogged a little bit, so I guess some karma there. It's actually gonna be thrown towards Mercy Please, but this Night Stalker is way too tanky to kill off. In fact, they're gonna turn around. Soothe still has no blink. Queen of Pain, run! Gonna try to run away from the Zeus and Night Stalker combo. This time not gonna work out, much like last. Now VSW also in a lot of trouble. There's a Witch Doctor coming in with smoke, I believe. They'll kill off the Skywrath Mage as well. This bottom lane is turning into a disaster from Swag. All they need is just a little bit more experience than Queen of Pain, and then she'll be fine. But until that happens, Night Stalker is running the show.
This is the saddest Queen of Pain I want to say that I've seen at 3 minutes into the game. Only level 1 on Zeus. Although this creep wave is going to give her level 2. It's still very unfortunate to see Queen of Pain suffer this much. Swag, however, is still getting a good amount of farm, and they're going to go on mid onto the Naga Siren, but a Paralyzing Cast from Witch Doctor is going to cleanly disengage, and, well, that's about it. But Patzel is having a pretty similarly bad time on the Naga. Only 3 CS to his name. They desperately need some sort of stacking or way to get this Naga Siren back into the game, because right now it's just not happening.
I think the way that they're going to rely on getting this Naga Siren back into the game is going to be coming very shortly. Not necessarily in this first nighttime phase. That would be one way where, in theory, they could bring her back. But when Bien gets level 6, this Storm Spirit getting safe lane farm represents the biggest chance for this Naga Siren to get farmed down the line, because eventually the Storm Spirit is going to want to leave and get a couple kills. Right now, though, he's got to worry about getting killed himself. He's going to get silenced, battle hungered up as well. Alamo not going to get any spins because nothing's targeting him, but he will get the kill nonetheless. Very easy dive on the Storm, and suddenly Naga Siren's chance of getting farmed just dwindled a little bit. But yeah, the Storm Spirit is going to buy space for the Naga, same with the Night Stalker, and let Patsoul farm up the top lane. But since the Storm Spirit died, that is looking a little bit less likely. Soothes down towards bottom, is gonna get hit with the silence. Oh no, not again. Night Stalker does a lot of physical right-click damage, and Queen of Pain just got obliterated for the 3rd time in a row, even though she has Blink.
Yeah, it's really just not a comfortable lane to be in. When you're dealing with a 5-second silence, now that it is nighttime for Mercy Please, there is going to be no mercy for this Queen of Pain, and pretty much she's going to be functioning as an offlaner, even though she was, in theory, supposed to get a little bit of farm down in the bottom lane. The other 2 lanes are going well for Swag, and I'll say that that's probably going to tip the scales into their favor when it comes to this game, especially since the IO is also getting good experiences. Cluster 2 is going to push through in the mid lane. Naga Siren backs off for a stack, but it's going to cost her about 5th of tower damage. Paralyzed Gas going to bounce once to the IO, but that's about it. With the spirits at level 2, and with those spirits about to expire, they do need to be careful. The damage isn't going to be thrown towards Pat, so they are going to miss. But in the end, it's still looking alright for them, even though Queen of Pain is getting shut down very heavily.
But the CS on Swag is just so high right now. Like you said, the lanes are going well. I would say that's an understatement. They're going fantastically. Alamao's demolishing the Storm Spirit, doubling up and then some. Bien's CS score, and that's kind of to be expected with an Axe, but they're going to get another kill in Storm. Here comes support in the Witch Doctor, but it's too late. Storm Spirit's already dead. They'll throw the stun towards Alamo, but the secondary support is way too late. Mercy Please closing in as the Night Stalker is going to get in range for a Void, but do they actually have enough to kill off this Axe with Scarth Mage support? They'll throw the Maledict onto him. Another Void is available. The mana is not, however, and now with Ned coming in with a bottle or 2 charges to give to Alamo, they'll turn things around into Omega Poner. Suddenly the Witch Doctor is slowed to a crawl by the Concussive. They'll dunk down the Night Stalker and kill off Omega Poner with a secondary dunk. Axe is going to walk away at 13 HP. This game is looking disastrous for VoidBoys. This Night Stalker can't do it all on his own. They need some sort of CS to back this up, but they're just not getting any.
Just like that, 6-minute Blink Dagger up for LMAO. This is ridiculous, and is going to constantly be a threat to the VoidBoys side. Unfortunately, Axe has gone for more of a lane domination build with 2 points into the Battle Hunger, so he doesn't have Berserker's Call yet. But even without it, just blinking into a full creep wave and slowing them down, giving them the rundown with Culling Blade, more often than not is going to be enough, and he's well on his way towards getting level 8 and his point into Berserker's Call. But yeah, this top and mid lane are just looking so well for Swag that VoidBoys are going to be hard-pressed to shake up the status quo, and that's unfortunate for their team. Right now, the IO's out farming all but the Night Stalker, and even is very close to the Night Stalker when it comes to net worth. That's scary, and it's going to get even scarier. Sven picks up a hand of Midas that's going to be ticking through the rest of this game.
Oh man, this game is looking so bad for VoidBoys. They also, Swag, are working with a triple stack of Ancients. Actually, no, that's 4. There's a second Lizard stack hiding under that dragon, but yeah, there's a lot of extra gold right now. Sven doesn't have any cleave just yet, but when he does, he'll clear that out in an instant. Axe can also, in theory, do that, but that's probably going to cost him a little too much. He just wants his level 8, and when he gets that, the pressure is going to be on all the heroes of VoidBoys, Patsoul especially. He's going to get jumped once again by Klotz and Ned. This time he has support. Cask will bounce and lock them both in. They're both going to get Maledict as well. Io's going to die. Now Klotz most likely going to die as well, but here comes Alamo. Gets one spin, looking for the dunk. Goodbye, Patsoul. No silence there from Alamo, and you split out the hunger. Alamo's not going to get this kill. That's a huge series of kills there for VoidBoys, and they get away with their Siren.
Yeah, this is kind of my issue with going for the Battle Hunger build, but nobody expects to get such a fast Blink Dagger. But if he had Call there, things would have gone so much differently. Although it's really nice to have that extra bit of dot inside the laning stage against a short range hero like Storm Spirit, especially before he gets level 6. Yeah, a little bit overzealous, and that's very easy to get to when you're an Axe and you get this 6-minute Blink Dagger. You feel like you're on the top of the world, and maybe Alamo needs to get down a little bit, buckle down until he gets level 8.
Mercy Please still leading his team as far as net worth is concerned. If he can get a little bit more in that regard, he could offer a lot of space to the team, especially since Fly has since gone towards the bottom lane, and he's getting quite a bit of farm as Zeus has 202 as a score. Pretty sure all those kills are on the Queen of Pain, but it doesn't matter because kills are kills. and he's closing in on level 6. Suddenly, this support Zeus is pretty much where a core Zeus would be, maybe a little bit slower, but really not by that much. So Fly is going to step up and provide a little bit of damage as well. And VoidBoys, at least they have active heroes right now, or at least heroes that can actually do things in this game. They're not completely out of it. They have a pretty nice fighting chance, but it's just a matter of time before Swag applies some pressure, i.e. bottom lane. Fly going to get jumped by Soothe. Sonic Wave being held, and Zeus is actually going to get some TP support from the Night Stalker, but he will not die from the Shadow Strike. But up towards top, Swag, they're looking to take a tier 1 tower, and with no one from VoidBoys in the area, it will be free for Swag to grab.
Yeah, X's now have his level 8 and is a force to be reckoned with. Tier 1 tower is going to be brought down without any contention, it seems. VoidBoys are instead just going to be happy that they get a little bit of extra farm on BN as he farms up a little bit of a jungle stack. It's going to be a pretty slow start for the Storm Spirit, but now that he has his level 6, things get a little bit easier for him.
The classic 10-minute Soul Ring build from the
Storm Spirit. Down towards bottom, relocate? Yeah,
Mercy.
they'll be able to bring down Mercy Please pretty easily.
He's going to be the victim of the first level 6 relocate. Lots of the God Strength there, helping out quite a lot. And Queen of Pain gets some vengeance, I suppose. First assist for her, and she's also level 7. Like, Queen of Pain, she doesn't actually need that much gold to be super effective. All she needs are levels. Gold just helps out there. So with the Scream Sonic Wave, that's a lot of pain, especially when you're talking about dealing that damage towards a Siren or a Zeus or a Witch Doctor. She could very easily get these kills if she has any sort of support. Hell, she could probably even do it solo. So this Queen of Pain, even though she had an abysmal early start, she's still not out of it in this game.
No, especially if you can get a good call and follow that up with the Sonic Wave. For the time being, Elmeo has slid down a lot after picking up that Blink Dagger, but he's still farming very effectively. He's still clean up a couple of creeps through the woods. The Naga Siren inside mid lane has been given a little bit more space, now up to 26 last hits, although by no means is this good. Petzel's going to start the road towards the Radiance, down towards bottom. Zeus ultimate not going to be enough to kill Zeus, but it's actually going to be top where all of the action is going to break out, going towards VSW. Zip in from the Storm, but he's going to be turned around upon with the Silence, and the Mystic Flare is going to be dropped. LMAO is also going to suffer a similar fate as the Deathward's channeled by Omega Poner. Juking through the woods, VSW is going to end up surviving. He makes his clean TP out, making it a 1-for-1 trade, but still good for VoidBoys as they kill off the axe.
Man, a 50-50 chance there for the Skywrath Mage to escape, yet the Zeus guesses the wrong direction. It's a nice kill to have for sure on that axe, but as nice as that is, they also lose one of their most important heroes. This Storm Spirit is going to have an even slower game than the Queen of Pain, and unlike the Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit does need additional bits of gold in order to be effective. He needs to get that additional mana regeneration, whereas Queen of Pain just needs to dump her payload once and then she's happy. Storm Spirit needs to continuously sustain his mana pool, so the Storm Spirit is becoming less and less of a factor, and that's concerning for VoidBoys because their Naga Siren is still eons away from anything resembling a helpful item. She has a Ring of Aquila, boots, yeah, fantastic. But what she really wants is that 3,800 gold item, and she's 3,000 gold away from that with no effective way of actually farming that up. So this Naga Siren and Storm Spirit are almost going to be completely irrelevant heroes for the next 5-10 minutes at the very least. And all the while that is happening, Swag are going to be power farming this Sven. Hand of Midas has been ticking for quite a long time. He's starting to get some cleave. He's gotten a couple of kills. And what does he have flying out to him? Something pretty substantial. It's a Mask of Madness.
And he's going to use this Mask of Madness to clear up a 5 stack of Ancients with a double damage rune. This couldn't have come at a better time for Klotz. They'll hand the bottle to him as he pops that one, gives the bottle back to the IO, but yeah, this gold is going to be flowing into Klotz's pockets. That's ridiculous how much he's just picked up there in a matter of seconds. Now up to 2,000 gold, he just picked up the Mask of Madness. If he wants to, this could be a blink.
It could be another Mask of Madness. Bian's going to get jumped up towards the top lane, and VSW pretty much is going to do that one by himself. Just caught the Storm Spirit with a level 4 seal and a Mystic Flare, and there's no chance there when your Storm Spirit has this in his inventory. Nothing too impressive there. They're going to actually run into VSW. Mercy Please will have enough damage to kill off the Skywrath Mage with a couple more swipes of his paws, but that's still a really good trade for Swag, especially since Klotz is going to take down a tier 1 tower in the meantime. 2,700 gold, are you kidding me? Relocate down towards bottom, can put Fly in a lot of trouble. Soothe's going to overshoot with the blink, but they will find enough vision for the Stormhammer. Now a couple more right clicks from Klotz, and Io's going to be the one to draw that kill. VoidBoys are going to very quickly start to bleed out heroes, and they really can't afford to be doing this. They can't be dying anymore in this game if they want to have a shot, because this Sven is going to very quickly be unmanageable. It might even be at that point already.
Yeah, this farm is obscene on Klotz 2. He's up to 3,000 gold. I'm not sure what he's going to go for in this case, but he's farming at the same rate as like the next two highest farmers on VoidBoys. It's pretty ridiculous. He's going to be sending a courier to himself. That's just smoke. Not exactly sure what that means for him, but even without spending that 3,000 gold, he's battle ready for this point in the game. At 13 minutes in, a Hand of Midas and Mask of Madness is pretty darn good, but he has so much more than that.
Alamau getting into a little bit of a scuffle up on top lane, but with Storm Spirit and Night Stalker, they can't really do that much versus an Axe who's packing a Vanguard. Also a little bit of help from Ned, certainly helping out that Axe in the top lane as well, but Axe is going to feel rather unkillable in this game, and I think he will be pretty much correct if he does decide to start thinking that. There's not much that VoidBoys can do to kill off this Axe. They need magical damage, they need Maledict to land, and then like Zeus combo to land. That's a lot to ask for. Oh, they're going to run to Omega Poner. Mystic Flare will be dodged, but the Io Spirits will not be. Ned taking quite a bit of damage. VSW getting in there with the body block. Might buy Ned an escape. It's going to be close. He has to tether away. Bottling up, he'll do his best, but it won't be good enough. And it will be a 1-for-1, which VoidBoys are going to be pretty happy to take. But again, Io is not the problem. Far from it. It's the Sven who's now magic immune that's the real problem.
Yeah, now sitting on a 14.5 minutes BKB, there's no reason for Swag to slow down. Their Axe has pretty much the items you'd want to at this point, and, well, Sven has a lot more. Blink and Call going to miss from LMAO. The Night Stalker's a little too fast with those phase boots, moving at 520 movement speed.
No, they will get away with the Scarith Mage at the same time. Was aggressed upon by the Night Stalker. Gotta respect that Mystic Flare, though. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're sealed and you're flared, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage, and most likely you're gonna die. But no kills, not great for VoidBoys. They're gonna have to also make some sort of defense on bottom lane, as Klotz is pushing that one out very freely just by himself. And also has, actually, VSW and Ned are gonna arrive, so Klotz gonna get some help, and Sven will take down that tower. Third tier 1 of the game to drop for the Swag side, and taking a look at their own towers, pretty much untouched. There's no chance that VoidBoys get much tower gold in this game, at least not for another 5-10 minutes. So it's Swag with a huge lead that's growing very, very rapidly. Oh man, this is looking bad. Naga Siren, she needs her farm. She's getting a lot of it. Like, she's under no pressure in her own jungle. But is this going to be enough? They have to take a lot of farm in the Naga Siren and then a couple of miracle team fights to hold the game for the Naga Siren to get that farm.
Zeus Ultimate going to be dropped just for scouting purposes. It is going to give Mercy Please the intel that he needs to back off in mid, but regardless, Swag can probably just group up and push, and by group up I mean with just the Scarith Mage, Axe, and Queen of Pain. The Io and the Sven can join the fight at any time and really contribute quite a bit, and it looks like they're going to try to push out top. The lines on the map are drawn by Klotz 2-2.
And if anyone decides to jump Alamau, that will not work out because Axe will just not die, and also Ned and Klotz, they're already working with that relocate online, and bottom lane also, they're threatening to jump in. They see Fly and Omega Poner. They were just de-warding, and they're going to think about going in, potentially, but without the Axe, maybe a little bit too risky. Swag, they could play this as slow as they could possibly want, because their Sven is so stacked. Hyperstone as well, my god, are you attacking fast enough, man? With Overcharge, Mask of Madness, and a Hyperstone, it's going to be insane amounts of DPS. Scarith Mage is going to kill out the Witch Doctor with a flare. Down towards bottom, relocation is coming in. Soothes might die before the relocation arrives, and he will, but Mercy Please is going to get torn to shreds shortly thereafter. That's a 2-for-1 in favor of Swag, maybe 3, as Alamau looking for a jump in on Fly. If he gets vision, this Zeus is so dead, and there's the, no, just short of vision, actually, nighttime still. The Fly, oh, just on the edge of that Stormhammer range, will survive for right now, but this tower will not.
Yeah, with the God's Strength, they'll be able to cleave through it so very quickly. And the trade for VoidBoys is that they're getting a little bit of farm on Patzel and Storm Spirit. Although this is nice, and this is a necessity for their team, it doesn't make up for the fact that they're giving up tier 2s. I think they're losing a little too much to feel comfortable in this game. Even if Naga Siren had a Radiance right now, Klotz 2 has so much net worth, and even though her farming speed would increase the realms of ridiculous, Sven's already is. He has 182 CS. Been involved in 4 kills, getting 2 of them, and also mopped up a huge ancient stack, in fact 2 of them. Storm Spirit up towards top is really going to need to play very carefully. If he gets caught out by a call, I'm tempted to say that he might just die.
Well, there is an Axe right around the corner. Bian has to be pretty quick. Is he faster than the Axe? He's not, and now he's just going to die. Had to say it, man. You had to say it. Storm Spirit going to die to a instantly dropped Sonic Wave like that from Suze. Waste no chances. If you have a little bit of call duration, take no chances. You get that kill and you walk away from it. They don't even need to relocate. They don't even have relocate, but they're setting up now for a push up on top potentially, as Suze actually going to go for a Yule Scepter. He could have probably gone for anything considering how much he has recovered in this game, but this top lane tower probably not long for life, and VoidBoys, they can't really make a defense here. Like, if they do, they're going to get relocated upon, unless Omega Poner gets relocated upon first. He'll try to race Sven with the Death Ward, but Sven took actually no damage from that, so that didn't seem fair for the Witch Doctor. I was going to draw that kill. They'll relocate back to their own jungle, and that's one kill richer. Assault Cuirass completed. Can Sven even die now? Like, is it possible?
I think it's possible, but only if he's alone, and only if he decides that popping BKB and man fighting is not an option. If he just runs at the VoidBoys lineup and doesn't get incessantly kited around after the BKB wears off, I'm tempted to say no. Cluster 2 is the most stacked Sven I think I've ever seen. I want to say 15,000 net worth here, less than 20 minutes into the game. It's ridiculous.
How much time would this game have to have passed for the Sven's farm right now to be considered good? Like, I think if this was a 35-minute game, this would be pretty good farm. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd say like 30 to 35 minutes. This would be good farm for a Sven, but it's 20 minutes into the game. Assault Cuirass is going to rip apart VoidBoys. Zeus, even with Tranquil Boots, is only sitting at 6 armor. Nagasiren is going to be pretty comfortable in that department, but her HP pool can't support a God Strength Sven smacking you at who knows how fast. With the Mask of Madness activated, you're going to die in a matter of seconds. There really isn't anything. They have an Aghanim Scepter on their Night Stalker, and that's nice and all for setting up kills, but VoidBoys have not been able to make enough space. Down towards... oh, never mind. That's God Strength for Roshan, excuse me. Class Tier 2 is going to mop up Roche, and well, as quickly as he kills enemy heroes, Roshan's about the same, in all honesty. Down towards bottom, TPs are going to be intercepted by Mercy, please, as well as by Bien. Can they actually kill anybody off? However, the Mystic Flare and the Sonic Wave, no, as they're going to be able to mop up the Night Stalker and the Storm Kill to add insult to injury, as Swag are running away with this game, and every sense of the word, excuse me, as if Sven wasn't hard enough to kill already, he now has an Aegis of the Immortal. Relocating towards mid, they look for the Nagasiren. Patzel will be able to get the song off, but only just. They don't save their Witch Doctor. He's going to end up going down. Patzel is going to live, but that's a small consolation prize for VoidBoys.
This game is looking bad, almost to the point of just being straight up over. Like, that fight on the bottom lane was pretty darn bad for VoidBoys because they slightly misplayed. Storm Spirit ended up ball lightning into the Mystic Flare, and usually you want to go the exact opposite direction of that. So he jumped into the Mystic Flare. The Sonic Wave connect down to 2 heroes as well, and Sude's VSW, just the 2 of them, take out 2 heroes of VoidBoys. And Klotz now is working on Daedalus. Oh my god. Like, this is getting to a point where I think VoidBoys have to be legitimately scared about getting one shot.
It does get to that point. Zipping from Storm, gonna go onto Klotz Tier 2. Silences a creep. No, that was the Scarlet Mage silencing creep, unfortunately. But still, it doesn't seem to matter. Klotz is probably going to lose his Aegis here. With the Maledict, he is going to do so, but for his second life, he has God Strength. He has an IO behind him, and I don't think there's anything VoidBoys can do. We'll pop the God Strength, smack the tower a couple of times, and the Tier 3 tower is going to be dropped very low. He's forced to pop the BKB, wants to go into the enemy base, pops, fly in 3 shots. If he got a crit, that would have been ridiculous, but he doesn't have the Crystallis on him. Even on the right side of this fight, it is breaking out. They try to focus down the Queen Pain. Yules is going to buy her a little bit more time. Scarlet Mage ends up going down to Storm Spirit, zips towards Alameo. He goes under the backlines. He's going to pull back Zeus, does kill off Zeus, but now that they bring in the rest of their team, or do they? The Sven's decided to back out. The IO relocates him, and VoidBoys have found themselves a pretty big engagement. Colossus is going to come back with a vengeance. The Death Ward canceled. He's going to stun all 3. The cleave damage over into Mercy Place is enough for him to get another kill, although they're losing their IO. The Death Ward channel is pretty nice, but not nice enough to kill off Klotz. It's a triple kill for the Sven, and now he might go for more if they let him. Buyback on both the Night Stalker and the Storm Spirit. They're going to start chasing down Klotz too. The IO's too low to contribute anything. Ned's going to get jumped on the backlines, and finally they bring down the giant that is Klotz, but it's a hefty cost to pay for that defense.
So the Sven is killable, apparently. It just takes Swag to take 2 fights instead of 1 team fight. Oh, they take Raxus as well. What a hero catapult. That was really awkward, actually, for Swag. They were definitely on 2 different pages. There was a fight going on the top side. There was a fight going on the bottom right side. And the bottom right side just didn't go that well. The Sven really is the heavy hitter for the Swag side. If he's not involved, then the rest of Swag are going to have a little bit more of a difficult time killing off the VoidBoys heroes. And Sven was killing the tower and Raxes the entire time. It's a noble pursuit and everything like that, but it's just not what you want to do when you're in the middle of a team fight, or when the rest of the heroes are in the middle of a team fight. So VoidBoys take out the Sven eventually, but if you still look at the net worth, like, it doesn't even matter that the Sven died because he's still so close to his Daedalus. That's not a... He messed up. He bought Chrysalis recipes twice. Okay, so he could get 2 crits, because why not? He's that rich. He's still 20k net worth, 23 minutes in the game, and it almost seems like he didn't even die. He's right back up again. He's level 18, and he'll have a Daedalus. Radiance is completed, but yeah, Daedalus on Sven trumps Radiance and Naga Siren for 24 minutes.
Yeah, especially when it's backed up by Mask of Madness, BKB, Assault, Cuirass. His next Midas usage will secure himself that Daedalus completion, but this is absurd. Like, Klotz is a one-man wrecking crew. If they take a full 5-on-5 engagement and Klotz decides to just fight the enemy team, they're going to melt. There's your Midas usage, there's your Daedalus. Klotz is unmanageable, I want to say. I think Swag can just go through mid, and if they just take the fight in a slightly different fashion, it's going to go disastrously. And this time around, VoidBoys have no buyback. They spent 3 in the last defense, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for VoidBoys. Klotz, maybe this time is actually going to join the team fight. Fly is going to get out of danger. If they lost the Zeus there, that would be completely game over because they would not be able to stop Klotz. They need the magic damage, but it's just not there right now. Fly is going to bolt Klotz. Look at the damage that it does. It's pretty substantial, but then they jump with the BKB. 3 hits and Omega Poner's down. Fly, gotta run, man. Gotta run faster than that. Here comes Alma with the call, and 1 hit for the Zeus to die. Off to the bottom right of the Night Stalker, trying to get an angle in, but there's no angle to be had here. Klotz is going to run out of God Strength. So VoidBoys have a chance now at taking some sort of kill, maybe. But he's still hitting really, really hard. And Mercy Please is for the most part all alone. This game is looking pretty much over.
Although Naga Siren's usually a hero that's pretty hard to count out, I think this is probably a game to do it. This Sven is 2 stacked, that's 2 barracks up, and even if Naga Siren had her full build, or at the very least the same net worth as the Sven, I'm not sure they could do it. Klotzer 2 is going to stump a handful of illusions, and even though the Storm Spirit attempts to jump into the IO, Swag have gotten what they came for. They can fall back and push through top, take that tier 2, maybe wait for the next Roshan. There's really no pressure onto them. They have another slot to fill for the Sven, probably a heart, but after that, you know, just end the game.
Or do you go for some BM item? Like, you're far enough ahead as Sven and as a team for Swag that you can afford to get literally any item. Maybe not Divine Rapier, that's the only item that you don't want to be buying, but here comes Aghanim Scepter Sven because he can, right? Like, he could get whatever he wants right now. I was kind of hoping that he would just sell his Midas right there and then buy a point booster, but yeah, whatever. He's probably just going to go for a serious item build and be a polite player. But over towards the mid lane, they're going to get a jump in on the Queen of Pain. That's a nice kill for VoidBoys, but unfortunately, a kill on the Queen of Pain is not a kill on the Sven, and Swag don't really care about that. Here comes VSW, and here comes Sven into a song. Klotz did not prep the BKB beforehand, and now they might have a chance turning this one around. They have Maledict cooling down, but they're not going to risk it up against a BKB Sven. Almau going to jump in for Omega Poner. Here comes Sven, though. 4 hits to kill off Mercy Please. Mystic Flare not even going to be used. They'll kill off the Axe, though. By the time Sven's done with that, he will get stunned yet again. Now the BKB is popped. He'll kill off the Witch Doctor in 2 hits. Now chasing forward for Fly. Run, Zeus, run. He will blink out, and Bien, he's the one to take the Stormhammer. Not enough time to get out of there with the Ball Lightning. No crits for Klotz. He can't get an additional kill there. Ned also got separated from the Sven in the midst of that. For all intents and purposes, it's a nice victory for VoidBoys, but it's not enough of a victory to actually bring them back into the game. Naga Siren just now completed her Boots of Travels. It's a very late build for her, and she needs to get 6 slotted like now.
Yeah, it's really scary. We have yet to see what Sven's last slot is going to be, but yeah, that gold change in that last fight was pretty much dead even for either side and experienced a pretty similar story. Bien, if he gets cut out here, that could be disastrous, or if the Naga Siren does. Relocate is not available for about 8 seconds. That's unfortunate for Swag. If they had it, I'd probably say that they just go. It's going to be a basher for the Sven. Why not? I mean, although it's not as reliable as a heart, it doesn't matter. He's going to be cleaving through them so very quickly. They find the real Patzel. There is no song available for 40 seconds. It's only a level 2 ultimate, and they'll smack him down. Mega kill for Klotz too. And, well, the Storm is able to survive since he wasn't involved in that in any way, shape, or form. But regardless, Swag can continue with this momentum to push through top.
They unfortunately use the God Strength there, so their pushing isn't going to be as fast as it could be. It will time out soon, but having the Basher will certainly help for Klotz. And let's see, yeah, he'll get the Basher eventually delivered to him. This tower is undefendable by the VoidBoys team. They actually just can't do it. If they do try, they will lose the game. So they have to try to make some sort of defense at the tier 3s. But Sven also, oh man, he just needs one more creep camp. Yeah, Abyssal Blade completed. Pretty much 6 slotted. Like, you could maybe ship out the Mask of Madness for something else, but he's done. He's done with his build.
He is. Like, I mean, even at this point, do you ship out the Mask of Madness? I don't think so, I want to say. His damage is absurd. Even without the God Strength, he's hitting for upwards of 350 plus crits with the attack speed from an overcharged IO. And then with the God Strength, that's an extra 150 on top of that you're critting with a Daedalus. Yeah, VoidBoys aren't going to be living for much longer, but this item might help. They have a Death Ward that is now Aghanim upgrade by Omega Poner. If they can get a channel like they did in that last engagement in mid, maybe they can pull it through.
So Omega Poner is suddenly the most important hero for VoidBoys. No one else really matters. They're just meat sacks to take hits so that Klotz doesn't actually hit them. Evasion, or mischance on Klotz, not going to do that much because he'll BKB buffed out. 3-shot the Night Stalker, now looking for more. Patzel's going to sing, and he will catch Klotz, but the Death Ward angles right now are almost non-existent. They'll put some damage into Sven, or will they? So far, no damage dealt. They will put a lot of damage now, but they relocate in just a short distance. The Death Ward's still being channeled. Alamal's taking a lot of damage, as is Soothe, and he will be brought down the axe. Now here comes Bien returning. They will also probably get the IO, but Mercy Please gets a little bit too far. Abyssaled up by Klotz, and a couple hits will be dropped down. VSW trying to get away from Bien will end up going down. Netted to the floor now, but Klotz is still going to town, cleaving through both the Witch Doctor and Zeus. Now going for Bien. Buyback from the Zeus in an attempt to save his Storm Spirit friend, but here comes Zeus. Bien's going to get 2-shot. Now Klotz looking for another. Fly's going to land into a Queen of Pain. Klotz waiting for another Stormhammer, or just another right click. It's a rampage for the Sven. Can't make it a double rampage, but that's fine because the game is over anyway. And just like that, we are going to a game 3. Sven, absolutely 6-slotted, had another 4,000 gold by the end of the game.
It was ridiculous how much farm they were able to juice out of the map for Klotz 2, and although VoidBoys' lineup was alright, I want to say, they just never got any momentum. Bottom lane went alright for them, but even so, the Queen of Pain ended the game in a decent fashion, and really was able to get off the ground with just getting experience, which is pretty much all that she needed. The Storm Spirit going for Bloodstone first, and the Nagasarn going for Radiance. They really were banking on the late game, but Swag were the ones to access it in a big way too, with 1,000 GPM on the Sven.
I don't think I've ever seen that much GPM, unless there's some like stompy game that I barely remember, but that is definitely the most farm I've seen on a Sven ever. That's it, guys. Swag are going to take game 2, and that means we're going on to a game 3. We'll see who's going to actually advance in the winners bracket here for jDL5 Division 1-2. I'm Mikelorus, been joined by Grandisv, and we'll be right back for the final game of the series.